Welcome to the Chew Brewer Stew podcast. Every other Sunday, we'll release an episode of the podcast featuring an interview with a business owner in the food industry. From restaurants, to breweries, to bakeries, and everything in between. We ask them about their journey and the process of becoming a successful business owner in hopes of helping others to do the same. I'm Mike Curtin, and the podcast starts now. Welcome to the Chew Brewer Stew podcast. My name is Mike Curtin. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so you never miss another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to give us a follow on our social media accounts. All links to those and podcast platforms can be found on chewbrewerstew.com. Thank you for joining us for episode number 10 of Chew Brewer Stew. Today I sit down with Antonio Vilchis from Mexicocina, Agaveria in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn. Antonio tells us how he came to America from Mexico, began his life in the Bronx working in a restaurant, and how his hard work and dedication to being consistent has brought him his success. So here it is, episode number 10. I hope you enjoy it. Hey guys, I'm Mike Curtin. This is Chew Brewer Stew, and today we're at Mexicocina, Agaveria, with Antonio Vilchis. Antonio, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, appreciate it. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the business?
Yeah, sure. I was born and raised in Mexico.
Okay.
Moved to the United States 20 years ago. I started working on the restaurant business, spoil, dishwashing, whatever is in the restaurant, inside and like in the house, back of the house, in front of the house.
Right.
So then I told myself one day, I'm going to have a small place one day for myself.
Right.
To work for me, and just little tiny taqueria. That's what I wanted.
Right.
So, I work every day, 7 days a week, one job, two jobs, whatever, Time come along, and then in 2008, I have a little money saved, and I decide to open my own place in the Bronx. It was a small takeout that I said, I only have 4 tables, and it was mainly takeout, and, so that's why we started.
Okay, and what made you choose the Bronx?
It just happened, honestly, because I was looking on Queens, and I even look at one of those food trucks to see I can just open up, a food truck, taqueria on the streets, whatever. I was looking on Queens, and one of my friends, that I know him for a long time, he lives in the Bronx, and he told me about this place that they were selling it.
Right.
So I went over, I looked over, I talked to the lady owner. We have an agreement, so that's how I started. That's why I ended up in the Bronx.
Right.
But I didn't plan it to be in the Bronx. I just wanted to open a place, and they happened to be in the Bronx. And
Gotcha.
that was in 2008. So and I'm still over there in 2008. 2008, I opened the first restaurant. 2010, I opened the second restaurant. We call it, I opened it as a pizzeria, diner. And then in 2012, I opened the third restaurant in the same area.
Okay.
So, but the first restaurant, I know my lease is going to be up. So I closed it, and it closed down. And then the other restaurant, the third restaurant, the owner sold it. So I had to move, and we had to leave.
Right.
So I just kept one restaurant. So right now I only have one restaurant in the Bronx and this one over here.
Okay.
We just opened it back in April.
Right. And how was that dealing with that when you had to shut down the other 2 restaurants that you had opened?
Well, I kind of planned it, and that's the way it was planned, and is it just happens, and this is what it is. I didn't take, I knew that was something would come out better for us, for Mexicocina,
Right.
and if I keep working, I can make it somewhere else.
Right.
So that's why when this opportunity came to me, and hook up with other people, so that's why we decided to open another Mexicocina in Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
Just got to, I just got to take one day at a time and move on and take opportunities if they are.
Right. So you said that you had some money saved to open up your first restaurant?
Correct.
Was that the only money the only capital you needed to start it, or did you have to go other routes to find money?
Actually, at that point, that's all I needed, and that was all I needed, and I didn't borrow money to that point.
Okay.
I think I had enough, and I kind of managed, how to work it, so
Right.
I didn't have to put myself into borrow money here, borrow money there.
Right.
So
when you worked in the restaurant industry, when you came to America, you lived in the Bronx. Coming from working in the restaurant industry to becoming an owner, What was something you didn't think you had to deal with?
I don't know. Just not to deal with the boss.
Right.
No.
You're your own boss. That's a beautiful
No, but
thing.
you know what? It is more. It's more into that because when you open your own place, you had to be like, you had to watch everything, and you had to be more on top of other things like what you didn't expect. You know, yeah, whenever you work for somebody, you go there, you do your job, and you leave.
Right.
And then when you on the place, it's not that you just work and leave.
Not as simple. Right.
It's not as simple. As you have
Right.
to keep an eye on more stuff and the people that work for you and other little things like you don't know, like you don't expect like paying taxes and
Right.
deal with like insurance and you don't know any of the stuff you don't want a restaurant or a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you had to pay workers' comp, and you had all these little things that involved in business that people think that, oh, you open a business, you have money.
Right.
Or you run a business, you have money. You know what I mean? It just, you don't need to do it. Like, you know what I mean? It was a lot of more stuff than to deal with it. And, that you don't know if you don't open a business or you own a business.
So what qualities did you possess that you think that would make you a great owner?
Well, I think I'm a hard worker, honestly. And I one thing, and I don't take anything for granted. And on top of it, I always try to be like consistent in the business. If it rains, I don't care if it rains or pours or if it's not, you have to open the business. You have to be open for the public.
Right.
Because those was going to make you, big successful in business if you cater not just one community, all kinds of communities. Like in the Bronx, I cater to all kinds of people, like, Mexican, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, all kinds of communities. You go my restaurant, this is all mixed. It's not, I don't cater just to one particular community. I cater to everybody. And I try, I try to be consistent, as business-wise, be open, and the food quality has to be consistent. Like, I don't, I always tell my guys, if you're going to make this dish this way, make it the way you want to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't present it to if you can't eat it, how you pretend somebody else is going to eat it.
Right.
And if you be consistent, people can come any day or any time, it's going to be the same. And they're going to go happy and tell the friends, and word of mouth is going to make you be successful and have business, and people come to your restaurant or call in and say, oh, that's always good. You get the burrito, get this, get that, get the enchiladas. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what, word of mouth is one of the publicities, and you don't have to pay for it.
Exactly. It's a great form of publicity to have. So you say you're a hard worker. Who inspired you to be that way?
My family very much. I start work, we come from poor family. Like, I don't want to sound like, like everybody says, but I am like, if I had money or I was rich, I don't think I will be in the United States. Right. It's in Mexico, you can live your life, you have money, you don't have to move, you don't have to move anywhere else. You have money, because, it's a lot to do there, it's a lot to, in Mexico, it's a big country, has a lot of, my family is there, my mom and dad is there. So I grew up, and I'm a very family oriented, and I was closest, I always wanted to be, I wanted success somehow, I started working since the age of 11. Mm-hmm. So, so that's why they told me, if you want something, you have to work for it. It's not like, it's going to just come to you, or it's going to drop, it's going to drop out of the sky, nothing. Yeah. That doesn't happen. You have to work for it. You have to, you have to work for what you want.
Right. So you say that you wanted success. How do you define success?
Actually, success to me is like more personal. Like, to me, success is like giving jobs to other people, right. You know what I mean, to get up every day and not, or to go to bed, to go to bed every night, and not to worry about it, right. And get up the next day or 7 o'clock in the morning or whenever, and, and be happy to go to work. Right. I don't know, but, I'm very happy, and I love what I do. Like, it's not like I'm not like, oh my God, I have to go to work. I'm like, I love coming to work. I love being in the restaurant. I love to talk to people and greet them, and serve them. So that's like, to me, it's not even about the money. It is because we live in an expensive city, but, right. to me, successful is if you're happy and love what you do. You know,
There's a passion. There's a passion there.
Whenever you die, what are you gonna take?
Exactly.
So what are you gonna take? You take all what you have done or what you have, live your life, and that's what I'm living my life. I mean, like I think, I don't want to, like I say, I don't take anything for granted, but the way I have been working, I'm very happy with what I am right now. What I'm doing, or what, or what I have, or I don't have.
Right.
But, I'm happy, and that's the thing, like a lot of people don't have that. I don't, I just,
absolutely.
I just talking about myself that, I'm very happy of what I'm right now.
You love what you do, but is there ever a time that you need a mental break from everything?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How important is that to you, to take mental breaks from your businesses?
Very.
Yeah.
Very, yes. That's why whenever, like, I'm not working, I don't leave my house. I stay. And I'm at home. I like stay home and watch TV. Eat. If I don't have to talk to anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody. So I talk to everybody, a lot of people every day.
Right.
And I greet people every day. And I'm on the phone every day. And I'm dealing with a lot of stuff every day. So if I don't have to, I stay at home and don't talk to anybody.
Right. A breather.
Yes.
Take a breather from it all.
And that's like my way of me, like, charging energy, getting energy to get up the next day and keep moving and doing the same thing over and over again. Right. But again, I said, it's not hard for me because I like it.
Right.
It's not hard for me because I enjoy doing it.
Right. Was there a defining moment for you when you opened your first spot? Was there a moment when you were like, this is working, this is things are going really well, and I know it's gonna be consistent now?
Yeah, after like 2 years I've been open my first restaurant because of it was tough at the beginning, honestly. Right. I had to say, like, the first day we opened, I only sold a guacamole, I think, in the first 5 hours.
Right.
And then the business started growing by little, but it took a while.
Right.
It took a while, but one day I didn't realize it, that I have more value than what I expected.
Gotcha.
We had we have more customers. We had, I have more deliveries. I have more, I was getting busy. I was hiring people that I expected. Mm. I only wanted a place that 2 people, 3 people can work, and that's it. And just not to deal with more stress, more workers.
Keep it small, keep it simple.
Exactly.
Right.
But it didn't, it didn't happen that way. My business grew that I had to hire more people. I had to hire more cooks. I had to hire more delivery people. I had to hire more in front of the house. So I was like, okay, I guess, this business is growing because I can afford to pay people.
Right.
If you cannot afford to hire people, that means, you're not growing.
Right.
And I didn't think of that when I first started, but if I'm thinking right now, so I started with 1 employee, and I ended up my first business with 7 employees, 8 employees. So I was like, you know what I mean? So when I first started, the way I ended up in the first business, so it grew. It grew little by little. But I noticed it I grew after 2 years.
Gotcha. How do you stay ahead of your competition?
Well, that's hard. Honestly, I told you, that's hard. But also, I say consistency and being. And try to do, the best quality of the food very much, because food, food is what people's gonna look for you. That's what I've been looking for us.
Right.
For the last, I would say, since April, we growing little by little. Right. People come to get the tacos, enchiladas, and the quesadillas, and that's why I always tell my guys, make sure, the quality of the food, the freshnesses, and the presentation has to be always the same.
Right.
Or, that people can say, oh, this is what I had last time.
Right. Consistency.
That's, and that's one I think also, unfortunately or very fortunately, nowadays, the social media, you have to stay in top of that too. You have to, be in, if you want to compete, not even compete, but you want to be known, or from other restaurants, you have to be in social media, you have to post just, anything you want, whatever, just even every other day or every day you have to post Instagram or Facebook, you have to post it. People on social media, and you have to be part of that.
Right.
It's like, and that's one thing. Another thing, like I do a lot of deliveries, so I partner with everybody. Like whatever all the companies over there, I partner with them.
Okay. And with social media, is that your biggest form of marketing, or do you do other forms as well?
Now I think I don't know if social media is my biggest market, but I noticed that I do a lot of deliveries, so I think it goes like the buys little by little, like percentage here, percentage there.
Right.
You know, I mark like also my website. I try to keep up on my website.
Okay.
You know, I like to keep it updated and again, like it's in order that I partner with a lot of people. I don't know if you want me to say the names that I partner with, but like you know, like I partners like I don't want to give them
like
publicity.
Grubhub and all those,
Yeah.
and Uber Eats and
Uber
whatnot.
Eats and all the stuff.
Right.
They're like they take a lot of percentage
Right. Yeah.
out of my.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, did you? I don't want to, I don't want to partner with them, but nowadays, like you say, everybody's on the phone.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to call. A lot of people like lazy. They don't want to call and say, "Hey, send me an enchilada, send me a burrito or nacho." You know, they just want to pick up the phone, and order.
Right.
And they use Grubhub and Uber Eats and all those platforms that they take percentage out of the sales, out of the delivery, but you had to do that, honestly.
Right. So that's obviously been a big change to the industry.
Yeah.
But what do you think has been the biggest change for you in the last 5 years?
On the last 5 years, what's changing? Definitely, like the deliveries doing on other platforms,
Right.
that has changed.
Right.
Because before it used to be one out of like 10 of them or more.
Right.
There's a dozen of them, and every day something new comes out.
Of course.
And
right.
and again, and in order that we live in a huge community, everybody uses whatever they want.
Right.
I'm trying to use trying to have people order through my website, through my app, but it's not even 10% of what I get on the other platforms.
Right.
But that's one of the biggest things in the business, I believe. That and I noticed other restaurants they like in the city that they never do deliveries, not do the deliveries too. Like big restaurants, and I was like, I didn't think I didn't expect it. Before you didn't see that.
The whole industry has changed.
Yeah, before you that's what I'm the other one say like before, and like I not to mention it, but Rosa Mexicana will never do deliveries before, and I said Rosa Mexicana doing deliveries since like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, what? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's like I can see changes not just on my restaurant and other in the industry itself.
Right.
The in the industry itself has changed. All this the new generation, I guess.
Right.
The new generation, I guess, has changed.
Yeah, I think it's people just want to stay in their own places and have things delivered to them. They don't want to leave. Nobody wants to go to the movies. Nobody wants to go out to eat. They just want to stay in the privacy of their own home and be comfortable. A lot of people are like that. That's kind of changed the whole industry now. How do you go about dealing with Yelp?
Yelp is what platform that before when I first started, 10 years ago, I think like people will definitely follow. Nowadays, I don't think it's not as big as before.
Right.
Now people like going to like Google. I think Google business is taking over a little bit.
Right.
When I like to say before, everybody will go to like follow Yelp and still, but honestly, I work with Yelp and I had to cut them off because they were taking a lot of money out of me for no reason.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know. And I'm sure we all fall for it because they tell you, oh, it's gonna be like $10 or $20, whatever, and then you ended up paying $400 to $500 a month. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And just because somebody went into the site and looked it up number, or because they got the number through them, and you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
Why are you charging me for that?
Right.
But I worked with them for like 2 years, and I was like, listen, I can't afford this anymore.
Right.
You're taking $500, $600 every month out of my account. I can't afford it. It's a lot of money. You think about it.
Was that to be a sponsored ad? Is that what that was?
Well, yes.
On Yelp?
They promised you to put it on top of the list.
Right. In the area.
Right. But like I said, you promise that to everybody.
Right.
Because if you promise that only a few restaurants. It's not like they might want to make money, so they tell everyone that they're gonna put on top of the list in the area.
Right.
But they not. They do that's the way they made the money. But you don't know that until you try them. Like you don't know that until that's why they keep calling me over here to go to be on the site. So like just leave it the way it is.
Yeah, perfect. People can find me when they search for me, right?
Yeah, just like they have the free listing. Just I want to be in the free listing. Right. People find me. That's fine. I don't have the money to spend, and I don't.
Of course.
And I don't want to it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to give them money anymore. I gave them a lot of money for a few years. I don't want to give them money anymore.
Gotcha. So what would you recommend for somebody that wanted to open their own place?
To be honest with you, I've been telling this a lot of people that ask me, honestly. I'm like to help people. A friend of mine that become friends. He opened a big city years ago and come over to me and it's like, what should I do, blah, blah. But answer to your question is like, unless you have a lot of money, do not open a place from the scratch. Just, find a place that was a restaurant already and it's easier. You spend less money, you open faster, and it's, I don't know, it's less complicated. When you want to open from scratch, it's a lot to deal with it between architects and permits and the design. It's just like it takes forever.
Right.
And if I say you don't have enough money, you don't even get to open. I see places that start from scratch that never opens.
Right.
Because they run out of money.
Yeah, they run out of money to open it.
Open it. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It makes me sad. You know what I mean? It makes me sad because, you put an effort on it, you spend money on it, and then you cannot even open because you don't have money. So that's what I have asked me before. And not recently, somebody asked me before. I told them, you want to open a restaurant? Go ahead. I also but this is what I have gone through. As a matter of fact, I tried to open a restaurant. I signed a lease on 149 near to Lincoln Hospital.
Okay.
It was a restaurant already, so I signed a lease to open a Mexicocina there. But in order that I didn't do my homework, and I believe that, that the owner ran me a restaurant with a kitchen. So whenever I went to open, it happened that the kitchen was illegal. So... Jeez. And the building, it has not just one, it has 50 problems, 50 violations. So I couldn't open it.
Right.
So, but that's what I tell everyone. Besides that, we had to do homework before you open a restaurant. Don't open the restaurant from scratch unless you have millions of dollars.
Right.
And because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of work, a lot of money, and if you get to, if you have the money, who cares? But if you don't, you want to go you don't want to spend that much money on opening a place. When unfortunately, places close up left and right. Restaurant business is a tough business.
Yes.
It's a tough business.
Sure.
It's a tough business. I'm very grateful that I already been in business since 2008, so 11 years. I've been in business with 11 years, working for myself and giving jobs.
Right.
But it's tough. Restaurants is not an easy business.
That's what I'm hearing, and it's only getting tougher now, with the minimum wage and everything going up and everything. So
and the wages going up. So what you gonna do? Raise the prices out of the blue? It's just
can't do that.
You can't do that. But how are we gonna survive in this business?
Right.
If salaries go up and everything goes up. In the case of tomato, it's $60. Little case of tomato is $60.
That's crazy.
You make pico de gallo and guacamole. It was you know what I mean? It's just everything is up little by little, and everything's just so expensive. And like I say, I don't want to repeat myself, but the restaurant business is a tough business. But you know, we a lot of restaurants are open. You know what I mean? So we try to survive somehow.
Right.
It's just like, you know, cutting stuff and doing the right thing. You know, so you survive somehow.
Right. So did you happen to have a funny story prepared for us or no?
Well, I don't know if it's funny story, but I think it was funny. Maybe funny and a little bit. On 2012,
Okay.
I still remember the day. You know, it's a Tuesday night. For some reason, we started getting busy than normal, and people kept coming in and keep staring at me, and I was like, "What, do I have something in my face?" Or you know what I mean? And they kept staring. You know, every table kept staring at me, but I was busy. I don't mind it. So
Right.
there's two ladies sitting in front of like the counter where I sat, and they keep staring. And so I said, "Oh, what's up? What are you doing?" Blah blah. And they're like, "Are you Antonio?" Like, I said, "Yes." Like, you've been reading in the New York Times. I'm like, "What?" And so
Oh, really?
you know, I'm like, I don't know if I want to cry. I don't know if I want to laugh.
Right.
So it was like emotional. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
emotional, but it was like, I think it was like kind of funny moment, but also was like happiness kind of. And
Of course.
these ladies, you know, like, you know, get up and give me a hug, and you know, we start talking, and they become sort of friends.
Right.
Because
Awesome.
they came to my restaurant, you know, not just that day, but since then they come and talk, and you know, they're funny ladies. And so, you know, that's like, I met people that way.
Right.
So I met a lot of my customers, and some I call them friends too, because some of them have, you know, get together. But it was like a little funny because like and then, you know, everybody started clapping. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't expect it. The old people, everyone over there, you went there because they saw me, and so they saw my restaurant in New York time. So
That's
it was
beautiful.
like,
That's
it was,
awesome.
It was fun. It was like I said, like I didn't know if I want to cry. I don't know if I was
Right.
laughing.
Yeah, right.
You know, but I was like, why are
Excitement.
these people staring? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I was kind of worried. I was like, what are these people, you know, staring at me? You know what I mean? Like, when you don't know it, you know, but it was funny. It was funny and
Right.
emotional, and it was good. It was a good night. People like, you know, and people left happy, and a lot of those people that were the night, you know, especially those ladies, like
Right.
middle-aged ladies, you know, they still come to the restaurant. We laugh still,
Right.
you know. They enjoy my food. You know, I buy them dessert here and there or a drink. And,
Very nice.
You know, and they're funny and they still there. So
Awesome.
yeah, that was a great moment. And all my experience.
Yes.
That was like a great, you know, I'll talk about it, I get excited.
Right. Awesome moment for you.
Yeah, that was, and for the business, because that's the way I grow. Like,
Right.
you know, that's the way my business grows since then also, because that's what I told you, like I start seeing see my business grow
Right.
after 2 years I've been open.
Awesome.
So that was,
That's great, man. It's an awesome story.
I think so.
All right. Antonio, thank you very much, man.
No, thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
appreciate it.
Me too.
I'm Mike Curtin for True Brewer Stew. I'm here with Antonio at Mexicocina, Agaveria. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, so that was the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you were able to take something away from that interview, as you will with every interview. Special thanks again goes out to Antonio Vilchis from Mexicocina, Agaveria in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn. Whether you're in Brooklyn or the Bronx, definitely check out Mexicocina. Their authentic Mexican food will have your mouth watering for more. And while you're there, say hello to Antonio, whose hospitality is second to none. Every other Sunday, I'll be posting a new podcast, so stay tuned, and like I said, subscribe, and you'll never miss another episode. Don't forget to follow us on our social media accounts for video clips of the interview. Also, if there's something you're curious about knowing from the owners, then I want to ask it. You can email me directly at truebrewerstew.com. Once again, I'm Mike Curtin for True Brewer Stew. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.